Myself, Mr. Mate HT, Department of Botany, RBMD College, Sri Rampur. Today we are going to study FYBSc Botany, semester 2nd, paper 1st, that is BO 121, that is Plant Life and Utilization 2nd. And from this course, the topic number 2, that is the pteridophytes. Now first, definition of the pteridophytic plant. So they are called as the vascular cryptogams because they are the first vascular cryptogams in the evolution. That means they have the vascular elements. That means they have the xylem and phloem elements are present, and they are also called as cryptogams because they do not produce the flower. They reproduce with the help of spores, and these spores are called as asexual spores. Now the general characters of the pteridophytes. Now first, that is these are vascular cryptogams. That means vascular elements are present, and vascular elements are xylem and phloem. They are well developed in the pteridophyte, and they show the variation in arrangement of the vascular element. Now second, that is the plant body have root, stem and leaves. That means the plant body is completely differentiated into the different parts as like the higher plant. That means they are differentiated into root, stem and leaves. For example, in Selaginella, so this is the Selaginella which shows the stem, root and leaves. So this is the stem, this is the branch, this is the stem, these are the small leaves and these are the root. That means in the pteridophyte as compared to the bryophyta, the plant body is well evolved and it shows the root, stem and leaves. Now next character, plant body is a sporophytic but without flowers. That means it is a cryptogamic. Here flowers are not developed, but for the process of reproduction, here asexual spores are get developed. Now next, sporophytic produces asexual reproductive spores. They are called as the spores. Now these spores are developed in sporangium. These sporangium are developed on a leaf-like structure which is called as the sporophyll. And in this a very large number of the sporophyll or this sporangia comes together to form a compact structure, and it is called as the strobili or cone. It is a compact structure in which there are the sporangia. And in each sporangia, sometimes there are the two different types of the sporangia are developed, that is the microsporangia and megasporangia. Now next, plants may be homosporous or heterosporous. That means both the type of a situation is found in the strobilus or in the cone. Sometimes only one type of spores are developed, then that plant, that species of the pteridophyta is called as the homosporous. While both the type of microsporangia, that is the megasporangia and microsporangia are developed, then it is called as the heterosporous. The next character, the spores germinate into a gametophyte. That means spores, they are developed after meiosis and they are developed into a gametophyte. So these spores developed into the gametophyte, and if there are the two different types of the spores, that means if a microspores are developed, they get developed into a male gametophyte, and this male gametophyte gives the antheridia. While if a megaspore is there, this megaspore germinates into the female gametophyte which gives the archegonia, that is the female reproductive structure. Now, the gametophyte is with rhizoid and chlorophyllous tissue. For example, in Nephrolepis, the gametophytic tissue, gametophytic structure is like this. These are the archegonia. These are antheridia. These are rhizoids. And this is the chlorophyllous tissue. Now this is the gametophyte, which is found in Nephrolepis. It is heart shaped. Now it has different parts. Now toward the upper side, they develop the female reproductive structure which is called as the archegonia, and toward the lower side there are the male reproductive structure which is called as the antheridia, and toward the lower side for the absorption of water, mineral, etc., there are the rhizoids. And as chlorophyll tissue is there, the male gametophyte, this is the The gametophyte is independent in its development. Now next character, gametophyte develops antheridia and archegonia. Antheridia gives the antherozoid, which is the multiflagellate, and the structure is like this. It is the multiflagellate. It is antherozoid, which is developed in the nephrolepis. It is a circular in outline, or it is a spiral. It is a multiflagellate. Now water is essential for the fertilization, because these antherozoids swims through a film thin of water and finally reaches to the archegonia for the process of fertilization. Now after fertilization, a zygote takes place. This zygote develops into the embryo, and this embryo by division and redivision get developed into a new sporophytic plant. Next character, that is the alternation of a generation. Now the pteridophytic plant shows completely two distinct generations. One, first, that is the sporophytic generation, and second, that is the gametophytic generation, and both alternate with each other. That means the alternation of a generation is there. Now life cycle is a diplontic, because here sporophytic generation is diploid and it is dominant, and so the type of life cycle is called as the diplontic type of life cycle. Now next point, that is the classification of pteridophytes according to Sporne in 1976. Now Sporne included all the pteridophyte into a single division, that is the Pteridophyta. So this is the division Pteridophyta, and this division is divided into 6 classes. So these are the 6 classes with their reasons also, with their characters also. From this, number 1, that is the Psilopsida. Number 1, Psilopsida. Now plants are extinct, that means only fossils are there, and they show the characters like rhizoids are present. That means here roots are completely absent, but instead of this, rhizoids are present. Second character, vascular strand is a protostele. That means here also vascular elements are well developed. Third character, homosporous is the condition. That means its strobilus or cone shows the homosporous condition. Next character, antherozoid is a multiflagellate, and the example is Rhynia. That means this Rhynia is extinct. It is only in the form of a fossil. Now second class, that is the Psilopsida. Rhizoids are present. Again here roots are absent, but instead of this, rhizoids are present. Second character, leaves are scaly. That means they are very, very small in size. So such type of leaves are called as the scaly leaves. Third character, cambium is absent. That means there is no secondary growth. But instead of this, there is the well developed xylem and phloem elements are there, but only the cambium is absent, and so there is no secondary growth. Now again here also the homosporous condition is there, and its example is the Xylotum. Third class, that is the Lycopsida. It is represented by both fossil and living genera. Second character, plant body is not differentiated into root, stem and leaves. Third character, strobilus is present. That means the cone is there, and the condition in the cone, in the strobilus, is homosporous or heterosporous condition. That means both of the type of conditions, that is homosporous and heterosporous conditions, are developed in this class Lycopsida, and its example is the Lycopodium. Now next class, that is the Sphenopsida. All members are fossil except Equisetum. That means in living condition there is only one genera, and that is the Equisetum, and rest are all the fossil, they are extinct. Leaves are scaly. That means again leaves are very small in size. True roots are present. Now here rhizoids are absent, but true roots are present. Now this Equisetum is strictly homosporous, and example, that is the one, that is the Equisetum. Now next class, that is the Pteropsida. Here fossil and living genera are there. That means both of the type of genera are there. Some are fossil and some are in living condition. Now here the plant body is differentiated into root, stem and leaves. That means it is highly advanced as compared to the rest of the class. That means here the plant body is get differentiated into the well developed structure, that is root, stem and leaves. Now again homosporous is the condition, and its best example is the Nephrolepis. Now the last class, that is the Progymnospermopsida, and its characters are vascular cambium is present. That means xylem and phloem is there, cambium is there, that means the secondary growth is also there. Now again both the conditions are there, homosporous and heterosporous conditions, and here the monopodial growth is found, and example is Archaeopteris. Thank you.